The intent of this podcast is for entertainment only. Our stories are based on the opinions and thoughts of ourselves and the research we cite. We encourage you to conduct your own research and form opinions based on your findings. Had 3 doctor's appointments, and by far that was better than my normal Thursday.
That was my best day I had all year.
Welcome to another episode of Conspiracy Happy Hour. I'm Allie.
I'm Dan.
And it's spooky season.
It is.
It's October, what's today? Today's October 6th, but you're going to be watching this on another day.
Yes. Next week.
Sure.
We try to record in advance, but this is coming out in October. This will be the first one for October.
Yeah, look, I got my Hocus Pocus sweatshirt on. Did anybody see the Hocus Pocus?
I have to say,
it was so good.
It was probably,
I liked it.
Probably the best sequel I've ever seen to a movie.
Can I just say, I hate the people who were like judging it ahead of time before even watching it, because it was so good. And like the things that they were judging it on were just like from the previews in itself, but like the parts that they showed in the previews, although they look stupid, they are what made the entire movie. It was such a good movie.
I laughed the moment I saw those Roombas under her feet, and everyone was like,
"Oh my god, yeah!"
That was one of the things people were like.
They really modernized it. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, she had a Swiffer, she had Roombas, and she had a broom to keep it classic.
Now I did see that. Well, I didn't see, but I heard that they're going to be bringing back a show to go along with the girls. Could be just a fake rumor. I think they should, though.
I think
like to go along with their younger lives.
They definitely left it open for either a third movie or a spin-off series.
Wait, speaking of third movies, what was Frozen? I saw Frozen 3 is coming out soon.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, I saw that
The
today.
second one I liked the second one.
I didn't mind it. I thought the first one was best.
Well, yeah. Well, I like a good backstory, or like it gave more context to like the world. So
yeah.
It was a little boring, but like I like the backstory
and
stuff.
Sister Act 3.
I did see that.
I'm so excited for Sister Act 3.
Whoopi's going to be in it.
Midler's going to be in that one too.
Oh.
She wasn't in the first two though, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No.
I saw Maggie Smith is going to be in it too. So it's
Wait, is she?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. Who's the one that was in?
The one in Hocus Pocus, right? She was
No, Maggie Smith I thought was the older lady.
She was the headmistress.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm saying the other sister in Hocus Pocus is also
she's also
Act.
in it. Yeah, she's back in it, which is I'm thinking how they got Bette Midler in this one. Because
Maybe.
Bette Midler and her were in Hocus Pocus together and they just filmed that.
Maybe they do a Hocus Pocus like crossover.
Oh my god, and they do Hocus Pocus. I put a spell on you.
A bunch of nuns. I would love it.
In a church in nun cut. No, it's not a good idea.
I'm all for it. They go visit the Church of Satan.
That sounds really dangerous.
And they bring their book.
So you owe me like a story.
I do. I have some stories. Are you ready?
Dan went to Florida let's do the backstory, but Dan went to Florida last weekend or 2 weekends ago for a friend's wedding.
2 weekends ago. Because last weekend was I didn't do anything because I needed to recover.
Well, you called me. Yeah, that's right. And that was the Hocus Pocus party.
Yeah.
But he calls me like the minute he gets back. He's like, so I've got a story for you. And I said, okay. He's like, I'm not telling you till the podcast. So 2 weeks, I'm still waiting for this damn story.
Every time
no idea.
I saw her, she's like, I need your story. I was like, you're going to have to wait.
And apparently now I found out there's another story that he needs to tell me too. Which
well, that one's
yesterday.
not a crazy. It's an interesting story, but it's not as good as
tell your stories.
I will. I'll tell my stories. So yeah, like I said, or like Allison just said, I went to Florida for a friend's wedding. It was a great time. It was wonderful. I'd go back once they rebuild.
Oh my god, I know. R.I.P. Florida.
R.I.P. Florida. And scarily, the area I was in, I was outside of Tampa. So like the hurricane, I just missed it.
Oh my god.
Coming home.
That would have been so bad.
It would have been
It was
bad.
a week. If she would have waited 1 week.
Yeah, it would have been really bad. So prior to going to Florida, my friend comes down because she's my +1, and we're hungry, so we're going out. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
Is this the first night?
This is before we even left.
Oh, okay.
This is Wednesday.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, we're in New Jersey still. We're starving because we haven't eaten yet. We're trying to find a place that's open at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday.
Around here, too?
Around here.
My God.
It was bad. We walk into Kid Rips, which is a bar near us.
I like it there, though.
Kitchen was closed. I Googled the Philly Diner, and it said it was closing at 11. I was like, what?
Dominoes.
Well, we ended up going to the newer bar that's open by me called Iron Hill. No, I'm sorry, Irish Hill Pub.
I don't think I know that one yet.
It's okay. It's good. They had good food. It's like a divey bar, but it was the only place that was open. I'm like, I called them up. I was like, when is your kitchen close? They're like 12. And I'm like, we'll
be right there. That's all you had to say.
So we're there eating dinner, have a couple drinks, and my phone dies. My phone constantly dies because it's old.
Yeah. I mean, our first video recording, it died halfway through.
It's a running joke. It's at how bad it was. So dies at the bar, whatever, finish food, go back home. I plug it in. We're like debating, do we go to sleep? Because our flight we had to leave for the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like, do we go to sleep? Do we stay up? We decided to go to sleep because we're like, we'll be stupid if we don't. You'll be tired. Because it was like 12 o'clock. So we at least get like 2 hours if we like slept, got up at 2, whatever, to get out the door. So I go to bed and I go to pick my phone off the charger and it's not charging.
Oh my God.
It's not charging. It's not turning on. I unplugged it, plugged it back in. Like the Android phones, I don't know if I don't have an iPhone, but Android phones, when you plug them in,
and they make they light up just to show that.
Nothing, no life is coming out of this phone. So I started spiraling downhill.
Your boarding pass and everything is on there.
I am a project manager. I'm also a Virgo. I plan, and I had a screenshot of my boarding pass. I had downloaded the Frontier app because that's what I was flying on. I downloaded the app for the hotel because...
Oh my God, did you book it?
I booked it. I booked the Uber. So the Uber was booked on my phone.
Oh.
And I started freaking out. My friend is passed out on the couch sleeping. I'm like, doesn't even know what's going on. I'm like running around crazy, like freaking out. I'm like on my computer now trying to figure out what to do. I'm like, well, worst case scenario, I can email my boarding pass to her. That'll be fine. But I was just like, oh my God, I bought a printer. I'm going to print out my boarding pass.
Wait, what time did you buy a printer?
I literally bought a printer the week before.
Oh, okay. I was like, you went out at like 3 in the morning to buy a printer?
Well, that was another thing. I was mad because my phone was working all day. I was at work. Like, I was like, I was literally cursing out my phone. I was like, you couldn't have died during the day when I could have gone to the store, got a replacement, had none of these issues. But no, you had to die at 12 o'clock at night where everything was closed. And
you had to get up 3 hours earlier to get on an Uber and a flight and all that shit.
So I'm trying to print out my boarding pass, and I fucking hate Wi-Fi printers. They are the bane of everyone's existence.
They don't ever work.
They never work.
This one takes forever to do anything.
They never work. And so what does it happen?
Can't connect.
Can't connect. It's an error. I pull up the queue. It's 20 errors. I'm just like, I'm going to fucking throw this printer out onto the Black Horse Pike. And I did eventually get it to print. I don't know how. But so the only thing I had was this paper that said I could get on this plane because my phone died. I ended up bringing my tablet just in case.
That's a good idea.
I just threw it in I threw it in my luggage. I'm just like, I don't think I'll need it.
Can you download an Uber app on those?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because it's just it's an Android tablet, so I can download all the apps.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, you can download the app, but I was trying to log into it.
You didn't have your login?
I didn't. No. It has 2-step authentication, so it's trying to send the
to your phone,
to my phone. That doesn't work.
That's amazing.
And I'm just like, I hate security. And so everything that I was trying to do kept either being defeated by 2-step authentication, trying to send things to my phone.
Oh my God. Or a stupid printer that won't print
Or a stupid printer that didn't work. So I did eventually print my boarding pass.
Okay.
I had that. I just prayed to the Uber gods that his name was Pi was going to pick us up. Because I had it scheduled for 3 o'clock. And it said it was confirmed before everything happened.
Okay.
So, yes, Pi was there.
Did you tell him the story?
No.
Okay. Pi, I'm so glad
I was
you're
just
here.
still panicking the whole way to the airport. And so it's like 10 of 3. We're like, let's just go outside so we can wait because he's not going to be able to text me and tell me he's here or like call me.
Yeah.
So we walk out the door. He's already there. So we're like, oh, Pi, you're great. You're the best.
God.
I gave him a
5-star Pi. 5-star.
5 stars. And I tipped him once I had a phone. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to hear this part.
I'm still getting there.
This part. I'm very antsy now.
So now from this point on, I don't have a phone. So I'm just like, you can't leave. You can't leave I'm like, you can't leave me. Like,
oh my God.
I'm going to get lost. I can't contact any of my friends that are down in Florida.
Which now that you're saying this makes sense because I did text you at like, I got up early.
Yeah.
And I did text you that morning. I was like, hey, have fun. Have a safe flight. And I got nothing. I was like, okay, because he's having fun.
Well,
but
I can confirm, never got it.
Yeah. That's insane.
Never got it. None of the, none of my texts that I guess I should have received, I got.
Like Uber notifications
Nothing.
and stuff?
Yeah, I got none of them. So we're at the airport. I go through baggage claim. Everything's fine. I haven't flown in so long that I didn't realize that you tag your own bags.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that a new COVID thing?
No, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why. I guess it makes it easy. It makes the lines flow faster because you go to the kiosk, you tag, the tag prints out and you just stick it on your luggage.
The last time I think I was there was like 2018.
Yeah. So we get through the airport, get through security. Blah blah blah. End up running into my cousin
out of all places
at the airport at
3:00
o'clock in the morning.
She was?
Nope.
That's funny.
She was up from New Mexico visiting my great aunt, her mom, and I'm literally putting my shoes back on from TSA, and all I hear is Daniel Kelly. I'm like, Joanne. So that was fun. It was nice catching up with her and like. Killing the time.
That's really ironic, though.
It was so weird. I run into people all the time. I don't know.
But at 3 a.m. in an airport, that's like.
So, still don't have a phone. I tell her the story. She's like, "This is wild." I'm like, "I know."
And yet, I'm still here.
Yeah, I tell her this story. So, fast forward, we get on our plane, fly. So our plane takes off at.
That's what you do.
You do
sail on the plane.
Our plane takes off at 5:30, and we land at 8.
Okay.
So, our plan was to go straight to the hotel, try and check in if we can, and lay out by the pool and try just go back to sleep or something, relax for the day. Well, we couldn't do that.
You had to go to a Verizon store or whatever.
We couldn't do that. We had to wait in the airport until a T-Mobile store opened, which is 10 o'clock. So,
oh my God.
So you
could get one at the at the airport then?
No, we Ubered from the airport to a T-Mobile store.
My God.
Thankfully, the town that we were staying in had a T-Mobile store. So we Ubered. We had to wait we had to kill 2 hours and just hang out in the airport because it didn't make sense to Uber to the hotel just to Uber back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So thankfully, Christine was just calling all these Ubers because
She's good for that. She's very go with the flow, with not care.
And so I'm just I'm so sorry. She's like, it's fine. We'll just get you a phone and you can calm down.
Yeah, I'd be a mess too.
So we we get there right at 10 o'clock when it's open. There's so many people in the store already. And I look at the guy and I was like, does this always happen? I was like, you just opened. He's like, I know. I was like,
I hate my life.
I'm like, I am only here because an emergency. And I told him what happened. And he's like, yeah, these people are just being annoying.
These people can leave.
So I'm mad because I have to buy a new phone. And I'm mad because I'm doubly mad because I'm waiting for the new Pixel to come out.
Which comes out this month.
It comes out. It comes out mid-October.
And you can't go weeks without a phone.
And I can't go weeks without a phone. And I just got literally the email today saying I can pre-order it. And it comes out on the 13th. And I'm just like, do I do it? I might do it.
Can you exchange?
I can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm going to, I think. But so I'm telling this guy, he's like, well, do you want a cheaper phone to hold you over? I was like, no, I don't want a cheap phone. I'm going to a fucking wedding. I'm in a place I've never been to before. I want to take pictures. I want them to look nice. So give me this. So I got a new phone, which I wasn't expecting to drop a lot of money on.
Big spender on vacation, let me tell you.
Yeah, I spent, $800 before I even stepped foot on vacation.
And then you're plane.
On the plane, yeah. And So then, yeah, I got my phone. I turned on. I didn't get, like I said, I didn't get any of the messages. So then I spent like a good chunk of the morning just logging into everything again.
I would forget all my passwords
on my phone.
All my passwords are saved, and I use Face ID. If I didn't have that,
so yeah. So then I finally had a phone, and it's this one, the stupid
Very
Galaxy.
nice. He's still bitter.
It's
Sorry, Galaxy's nothing against you. He's just
it's
bitter.
a great phone. It takes beautiful pictures. It's
well,
just,
your other phone was like 3 or 4 years old.
it was 5.
5 years. There you go.
It's just not the phone I wanted, so that's why
he wanted the new one, which he was like a week away from getting.
I was salty. That's
Didn't
why.
happen. That's because stupid Galaxy.
I had to get a stupid good phone. So that was my story of my stress that happened.
I can't believe it died that morning.
And all that happened between 11 o'clock and then 11 o'clock at night and 10 o'clock the next day.
Insane. I don't know. Like, you were so creative in the way that you were able to still download your boarding pass. Pray to God. They're like I would have been a mess because I would have been thinking the same thing as you. So I guess when you got to the hotel, you just logged into your email and you were able to show the confirmation for the hotel?
I gave them my name, thankfully, and they just looked me up.
Okay.
Oh, no, I had to give them my license. I gave them my license, and that was fine.
Prove it was you.
Yeah. And thankfully, we were able to check in right away, too. So that was a good ice or cherry on top.
Well, I don't have something that exciting, but I did get my passport renewed.
Woo!
I know. My shit's already in the mail.
Nice.
Now, Tim's is not yet. But did you know, like, when you go get a regular birth certificate will not work for them anymore. Your birth certificate has to have your parent's name on it, or in his case, his mother's name on it. And he did not have that. So they denied him. He had to go to the courthouse, get a copy of his...
bring his mom with him?
Yeah. This is my mother. She's got an urn.
She's in this beautiful vase.
Yeah, no. They had a copy with his mom's name on it, but he had to pay like $25 to get the copy of the passport. And so he's got to still bring it back and fill out... He's got the application and everything filled out. Hold on. So before any of that, I'm going to renew my passport. I forgot to mention this. I didn't know you had to fill it out in black ink. I didn't have a black pen at this house, so I thought I was ahead of the game. Filled out the whole damn passport thingy in blue ink, and they're like, "Oh, you can't use this." And I was like, "The fuck?" She's like, "Don't worry, I'll shred this for you." I was like,
"Thanks."
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. She's like, "Do you see this? It says it right here. It says it in font like size 5 at the very top of the page in between all this other stuff. No, I'm not going to read that. I have to fill it out in black ink."
That's so funny.
And what the hell's the difference?
They must not, like, whatever they use must not be able to read it.
But
right?
like, from my experience, like even in high school and stuff, I remember like checks, especially, like you could use blue or black ink. Any important document, it's blue or black ink. Not your passport. That has to be black ink or they're going to rip it up in front of you.
That's so funny.
I was so mad. I was like, bitch. She's like, "You have to fill this out again. I'll hold your spot in line." I was like, "You fucking just ripped my page." Like, I just spent like an hour filling, not an hour, 10 minutes filling that out.
So much time.
So much time.
Well, I'm glad you got it done then.
I know. Mine's already in the mail. That's another stupid thing because you have to, like, the real ID now, where apparently starting next year, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but starting next year, you need to have a real ID to fly anywhere international. So
it's domestic.
Yeah, sorry, whatever. The inside the country.
Yeah.
So I had to not only get a new passport, which cost like $125, then I had to pay for the real ID. So I ended up paying $160 total for the real ID and the passport. Then I had to pay $10 for them to take a stupid picture of me at the not the DMV, but at this county store. Then I had to pay another $10 for them to ship this envelope with my passport and a piece of paper in it to the freaking government. Jesus, government, you're such a ripoff. I'm so mad.
Why did you need to get the real ID?
Because next year, if I go anywhere, I can't fly.
Yeah, but you can wait. Bring your passport.
Why am I going to, like, I got a passport book, not a card. I'm not going to bring my I feel like that's not safe.
I know. I don't think it's safe either, but.
No.
Yeah, your passport is more secure than your license. So that's another thing I was worried about because I don't have the real ID. And I know.
Yeah, starting next year.
And I know a lot of it doesn't really happen inside of our bubble, like the tri-state area.
No.
But if you go outside of out of the Delaware Valley or the tri-state area, if you look at a New Jersey license, it literally says this is not a real ID.
Does it?
Yeah, which people who are not familiar with seeing it and don't realize that it's referring to Real ID,
Real
the program,
IDs.
not
An actual ID.
this is not a
copy
real
of
ID.
fake.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, they're not going to let me on the plane.
I didn't even realize that.
So I felt, so I was fine. I have a phone now.
I love it so much. Stupid Android.
Stupid phone, which is the buttons are not in the same place as my old phone. And I keep accidentally closing the screen while I'm playing Pokemon Go.
So I have a Mandela effect for us.
Okay.
And coincidentally, it's the perfect month for October. So it's
Ready.
October. We're Halloween season.
Spooky season.
We're going to be discussing Kit Kat candies.
Okay.
Okay. Kit Kats, there are 2 different versions on this page. Same exact logo, except one is Kit Kat, the other one is Kit-Kat.
Oh, I think it's hyphenated.
All right, I'm not looking at the answer. I'm just looking.
Oh, maybe it's not hyphenated.
I wish I could show you this without because I failed miserably the last time I tried to do this.
Just tell me which one it is. I think it's hyphenated.
Hold on, I didn't read it yet. Oh,
Oh.
son of a bitch, I opened the wrong one. I'm really failing today. I might be in a good mood, but I'm just not with it. Swear to God. Something about this page does not like me.
Sometimes
there we go.
the pages
Okay.
don't work well on tablets, web
Okay.
pages.
By looking at this, if the picture will load, this is probably the most uninteresting part about every episode is me trying to figure out which picture is
Allison
right.
fighting with this
God.
web page. You can do it. I have faith.
I don't know if I do anymore. So I think it's not loading the picture anymore. Anyways, I think by looking at the 2 pictures that it does not have a hyphen. This one looks right. So let's see. If you've just had an existential crisis about the fact that there's no hyphen between Kit and Kat, then you're not alone. So wait, what? Did I read that back? What does that mean?
It said there's no hyphen. Oh, wait. Read it again.
If you've just had an existential crisis about the fact that there's no hyphen in between Kit and Kat, you're not alone. So there's no hyphen. So I was right.
I'm looking at it too. Really? It doesn't even look like a Kit Kat bar. Doesn't even look like the wrapper. Doesn't even look like this. Are you looking at the same picture?
I don't know.
Look at my phone.
The bottom one, no. The bottom one's definitely not right. Kit Kat bar.
Well, that's. Can you see it? Can you see? This is This is rigged. This is not real. This is the top one is the wrapper of a Kit Kat.
There is no hyphen.
Oh wow!
I just looked up a regular picture. There's no hyphen. No, watch. I'm not even going to be able to show this picture. By the way, you can buy them at Walmart for $1.14.
Wow, that's so cheap.
I have the Walmart advertisement. But yeah, that's the picture of a Kit Kat, and there is. I don't even know if you can see it.
Now move it
I can't see
over. There you go.
There we good. I don't know if you can see them. I have a viewfinder right here, but I don't know.
You can see it in the frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
No hyphen. That looks right. But yeah, you can buy it at Walmart for $1.14.
Wow.
Hashtag not sponsored. So yes, perfect.
I'm in TV time the other day
timing.
again.
You bought what? Oh, did you?
It was like non-spawn.
Right. Walmart wants to do a brand deal. We can promote all their candy. I'm just
I do
saying.
enjoy grocery shopping there.
Me too.
Like unironically.
I enjoy walking up and down aisles.
Yeah.
Walmart more than Target. Don't come for me, but just I enjoy Walmart more. In this area, our Targets suck. Sorry.
They kind of do.
Yeah. They got to step up their game a bit. Anyways, that's my Mandela effect.
Okay.
I figured
It fooled me again.
my favorite one that we've done was Febreze, for sure. Because I thought it was the other way, and you're like, no.
Well, my favorite one is how you can't comprehend Fruit Loops. Still, to this day.
Wait, it doesn't say which one's right.
Is it 2 O's? Did you see the Fruit Loops? No, Allison, I did not
But
see
you know
the
what?
Fruit
Like,
Loops.
I'm like so stupid because I can literally just say, oh, I can't figure out which one's right. And then Google a picture of it, but I don't.
Nope.
So-
Leave that for another day.
Should we?
Rock, paper, scissors. Just turn my tablet
Sorry,
off so
I
I
had,
hope
like,
it's
a
not
sip.
me.
Ceiling's falling. It was my cat. But I jumped off the countertop,
Oh, so-
licking the crumbs off the
so-
counter or
so
something.
dense.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay.
Ooh. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh. Now we're playing mind games. Oh, okay. You won.
Okay. So I'll go first just because I think yours is still turning on.
Yes. Go.
Okay. So I got to find another way to do this, but I have another New Jersey story, so maybe we'll like.
That's fine. It's usually me, so it's different now.
Well, yeah, that's true. I have a New Jersey story this time. I have a New Jersey story.
Well, we have a lot of good creepy things. Like
we do.
We're an old.
The woods, the devil.
Yeah, we're an old colony state. Like we've been around a lot more than most of the country.
Yeah, but I want to try to like. I mean, I know they have like weird New Jersey, but I think they have like weird PA and weird Michigan and all that stuff. So I should try like switching it up next time. But so my story is about the Devil's Tower.
I think I've heard.
So I found this because I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm running out of time. I'm just gonna like Google a whole bunch of like ghost stories and things like that. This one, the first one I came across, and I started like researching it. I'm like, I could probably make a full story out of this, which I did. So I used a lot of sources: weirdnewjersey.com, Wikipedia, maps.roadtrippers.com, New Jersey Haunted Houses, and thelineup.com, and magazine.funnewjersey.com.
Ooh, fun.
So I'm like, yeah. So, Devil's Tower. This is an ominous-looking tower that stands in the town of Alpine, New Jersey, located in Rio Vista, which is an upscale neighborhood in the southern section of Alpine. So I had to look this up because I've never heard of Alpine, New Jersey. If you look at the state of New Jersey, it is the town that is in the very right top corner of New Jersey. Like, it's squared off. So in 2012, Forbes ranked Alpine as one of America's most expensive zip codes with an average home of the price of $4.25 million. And that was 10 years ago. So many hip hoppers, elite hip hoppers, call this zip code home. And at one point, Jay-Z even owned a house there. Probably because it's like right outside of New York. You're right near the city. Yeah. And then it's still probably, honestly, cheaper than it is to live in New York. But the Devil's Tower was built in 1910 by a millionaire sugar importer named Manuel Renato.
We're really good at pronouncing names.
All right.
He's probably dead. It doesn't matter.
Rinda. Renato. We'll go with Renato.
Sure.
Okay. It is a 6-story Gothic stone clock tower, but before it received its name, the Devil's Tower, it was formerly known as Rio Vista Tower. Rumor has it that Mr. Renato built the tower for his wife, Harriet Renato, so she could look out at the New York City skyline. The tower was connected to the Renato home by an underground tunnel, and according to the legend of this, Mrs. Renato was looking out the window on the 6th floor and looked down and saw her husband with another woman. At that point, she had already suspected infidelity in the relationship, but when she saw him with another woman, she got very upset, jumped out the window, and committed suicide. Killed herself. Whether guilt or spirit activity, it didn't take too long for Manuel to notice that something seemed off about the tower. He kept hearing her footsteps following him, and when he'd enter the tower, unexplained noises echoed through the hallways. Sometimes he even swore he heard his wife sobbing or screaming in agony. At times, he swore he was pushed by an angry, cold, unseen person. Manuel quickly began to believe that the activity was his wife haunting him from the grave. After a couple years, he decided he was...
She jumped from the clock tower?
She jumped from the 6th story.
Okay.
So technically, I guess the clock tower is like their house too.
It's like a part of a building.
It has an underground tunnel that connects them.
Oh.
Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah. But yeah, so they had houses. They had a house. He was like a millionaire.
Oh, okay.
He had the house. He had the underground tunnel that he built the clock tower connected to.
Okay.
So the clock tower is his. He built it.
It's one way to spend your money.
Yeah. I think of a whole lot better ways, but you
Me
know.
too. Boat. A yacht.
After a couple years, he decided that it was not a good idea to keep this tower open. He closed it down, removed the elevator, and filled the adjoining tunnel in hopes that nobody would ever go up there again. People started taking notice of the socialite's death and the haunting rumors that spread through Alpine society like wildfire. After Manuel died in 1950s, the town had to decide what to do with the deserted tower. The story behind the tower was so scandalous, and socialites never like a good scandal, so they decide to demolish it. multiple construction workers who were there in charge of destroying the tower either fell or were pushed to their deaths and abandoned the project. After that...
Or pushed to their deaths? Is that what you...
pushed to their deaths. Yes.
There's a pusher.
Fell or were pushed. So I don't know if that is like Mrs. Manuel or Mrs. Renota pushing them to their death.
Need a better background check policy.
But anyway, I got hair in my mouth. There's too much hair in this house.
I have enough right now. My pants. I'm gray.
After that, the tower was left to decay, and those who visited the area would often agree that Harriet Renauta's spirit still, as well as some of the construction workers, were still there and lives in the tower. There have been many reports of hauntings and rumors about her death and her ghost. There were strange noises coming from it, and would go as far to say that they could smell her perfume, and it could never be explained in a logical circumstance, which I feel like there's a way to explain the smell of perfume. Like, you could honestly smell the flowers outside, but, that's just
But if she had a particular brand.
I guess. I don't know. It was in the 1900s, though, like early 1900s, so I don't know how many brands of perfume they had
Probably
that
had
time.
like 3, but...
So...
Macy's.
It was around that time that people began calling it the Devil's Tower, citing that it was clearly cursed by a woman whose scorn was greater than Satan's. According to at least one paranormal investigator, the tower also has an apparition that regularly darts in and out of the main gate. Mrs. Renauta's ghostly spirit has been seen as a shadowy figure in the windows, and there is also a rumor that the tower is inhabited by the devil himself. There are several dark legends about the structure, including exact procedures to follow in order to conjure the spirits. One of the legends states that if you walk or drive backwards around the tower 3 to 6 times, the ghost of Mrs. Renota will appear. So I have 2 stories that were found off of the Weird New Jersey site. I think that they came from a Reddit site. They sound like Reddit stories. So the only way I can kind of reference the people who said these stories, they did give their first names. So
okay.
This one is by Jose. And he said, there was one time when a bunch of us were at the Devil's Tower goofing around. We had gone there with 4 cars, and someone tried to drive around the tower backwards 3 times. While one person was driving around, the rest of us stood looking at the tower waiting for something to happen. After a driver stopped and got out of the car, we noticed that the wind was picking up, but only from the right side of the tower. Soon after, there was a dark cloud-like shape forming overhead with the strongest aroma of dirt and flowers. Mind you, this group made up believers and some strong non-believers who experienced the same thing. Suddenly, there was a humongous gust of wind that sent the feeling of death right through us all. That's when we all hightailed it out of there. Later, we discussed what had happened and found that each car smelled like dirt and flowers afterwards until we reached Milford, New Jersey. Now, I didn't look up how far Milford was away.
I'm sure it's up there,
thinking
too.
it's like the next town over, but even still, it's probably like at least a 10-minute drive. So that's one of the stories. And I found it interesting. It doesn't sound like a really scary story, but when you listen to the very next story, they are almost identically parallel. Now, people could be like, just, this is my...
Like they could be copying it.
They could be, yes, but I don't know. So this one is by somebody named Beth.
Ooh, Beth.
So she writes, I grew up and still live in Alpine area and have been to the tower several times. One of my friends drove around the circle 6 times backwards. After that, the wind kicked up, leaves started to swirl, and we heard a strange, faint wailing noise. And the lights in the gated area of the tower switched on and off. When we pulled away, we saw an image in the narrow window of the clock and felt a bigger chill, which was probably the window that she jumped off because it was right above the clock. We sped off towards Route 9W. Just as we reached the intersection with the blinking light, I don't know where that is. The intersection with the blinking light.
I know what a blinking light is.
My sister's cell phone started to beep. She had a message. It was from her home phone. The message was garbled and could not be made out. My sister said that the message sounded like a young girl giving a warning of some sort. We were pretty freaked out and stopped at the Royal Cliffs Diner to discuss what we saw. The 8 of us were standing around when one of the at the diner to discuss what we saw. The 8 of us were standing around when one of our other phones started to ring. The call had come from another one of my sorority sisters who was standing right there and had not made the call.
Wow.
I find it very weird that the wind started kicking up in both stories after somebody drove around backwards. And they both, well...
Did the other story mention like a smell as well?
The other story was all smell. The other story was the smell, literally titled The Smell of Dirt and Flowers. Okay. Now... I find that whole thing's extremely fascinating because do I believe it? I don't know. But according to historical records, it shows that Harriet Renota died of natural causes in 1922. And many have asserted that the Devil's Tower was really supposed to be a water tower that was built to house pressurized water from the Renota's water fountains. Although it's hard for anybody to know if it's really haunted or just strange, spooky tower, the legacy of the Devil's Tower is real. It has been repeatedly called one of the most haunted sites in New Jersey by a number of different publications. Needless to say, it is considered a hotspot for paranormal investigators. So, I don't know. I find it very funny that everybody is like saying that they have this experience and this experience, and it very well still could be haunted. But I don't know if she even died there.
Yeah.
I mean, according to the history books, which history books could be wrong, but according to the history books, she did not. So
yeah, that's interesting. That's cool. I like all that kind of stuff too, though. So it's interesting.
I like the ghost stories.
Me too.
The real stuff. So
it's spooky. Lots of spooky.
I know. I would love to go do like a paranormal
adventure. The devil
go,
gets around because there's the Devil's Tower. There's like the Devil's...
The Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
My grandmom swears that she saw him one time when she stole candy. That's a real story.
I have a story too. My mom and my grandmother swear they saw him too.
Really? My grandmom always used to tell us the same story over again. Well, that one, the one where she saw Santa Claus.
We'll save them for the episode we do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because my mom told me...
Well, yours was the Jersey Devil then.
Oh,
my grandma just saw the devil.
Oh, the real one.
The real devil. Because she stole candy from a convenience store.
Not the Jersey flavored one.
And she brought it back and the devil went away.
Well, yeah. My mom recently told me a story of how...
You told me that or your mom told me that. I know what you're talking about.
You might have been there then.
I might have been there.
Yeah.
It was at the bar. It
You're
was
right.
at the bar.
It was at... Yes, it was.
I was there.
You were there. Okay. So I'll retell that story once I text my mom and ask her to retell it to me. But
maybe she can be our guest.
She could. But yeah, I was like, you've never told me this before.
Why did I not know?
She's like, I swear to God. Well, it doesn't sound like that, but...
That was my story.
That was good. I liked it.
I know. And I started out just like, I'll just do a bunch of stories. No, I found this one. I fell in love. I did it at Starbucks today. I was going to say, I had the best day ever. I took a sick day. Went to some doctor's appointments, went to Starbucks, sat in Starbucks for an hour. Starbucks, you were playing a musical playlist that I was in love with. I heard Mary Poppins, Greatest Showman, Defying Gravity from Wicked. I don't even know what else I heard, but it was great. I was living my best life. I had Frozen. Let It Go was playing. I was like, this is perfect.
That is a good playlist.
And I just worked. And
I was
did
listening
my
to One
story.
Direction today.
What? No, that's weird. So random.
Well, I subscribe to... I don't know how Spotify works, I'll admit. But I use YouTube Music. And YouTube Music operates kind of like Pandora.
But do you pay for it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So no commercials.
No commercials.
Nice.
And it operates similar to like Pandora. So like I was like, what do I want to listen to today? I want to listen to like older music, but like newer music at the same time. So I just was like, I picked One Direction Radio, and it was just like a mix of stuff.
Oh, I love that.
It was actually a really good radio station.
I was listening to Chainsmokers radio station.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah,
because you got like Imagine Dragons and stuff that play.
That's a good one. I like doing the stations because it's like random.
A mix.
Yeah.
You're not just listening to one artist or picking one song
or one genre. Yeah. Okay. My turn. What
you got? I heard this is really creepy. I don't know what you're going to discuss yet.
Well, you might, because you were a big like consumer of YouTube, right?
Oh yeah.
Actually, not even back in the day.
Still.
Yeah, still. I am too. I still watch YouTube literally every day. It's bad that it's on my TV.
I was watching it before you came over.
Yeah, I like the first thing I open when I go home, and like I open the YouTube app on my TV, and I'm like watching my subscriptions.
Me too.
So, have you heard, or do you remember hearing about the Momo challenge?
I've heard of it, but I've never like looked into what it actually is.
Well, it's very creepy, so it's very spooky for spooky season.
Okay.
And I do remember when this was a thing.
It was a big thing.
It was a big thing. 2019, 2020.
I remember hearing that it was like popping up on kids' TV shows and stuff.
Because, yes, it was very that. So, yeah, it is technically a creepypasta.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to read to you the creepypasta first, and then I'll get into...
story?
the story. Yeah. And then I also have, like, the background and, like, what blah, blah, blah. The boring stuff.
Gotcha.
So this is the creepypasta. So it's more like a story, but it describes it. So, okay, here we go. It's literally a story, so this is story time. And my source is literally creepypasta.com. And this one...
Is that a forum before you begin? Is that like a sort of like Reddit? Because I've never been on it.
It is, yeah.
I'm going to have to start using that.
And people post their stories, their creepypastas, and you can vote and stuff on them. So this is a creepypasta. It is the Momo challenge. So here it goes. There was a still in the air. The morning sun was hidden behind dark rain clouds. A lone man made his way down a quiet country path. Gravel crunched under his heavy walking boots. He heard rain as it began to fall and make its way down through the trees. Suddenly, there was the sound of twigs breaking as something ran up behind him. A grubby-looking ball rolled in front of him. It took you long enough. Bend down to pick up the ball. He turned and looked at a large golden Labrador that eagerly stared back at him. I don't want to get caught in the rain. Okay, so last one, yeah? The man launched the ball down the path and watched as the dog raced after it. The man watched as the dog stood over the ball and paused. Hey, today would be nice. Without taking the ball, the dog took off down another path. Oh, damn it. Best not be chasing that cat again. The man grumbled under his breath as he broke into a slow jog. Once he had retrieved the ball, he looked around. His dog was nowhere to be seen. At the end of the path was a large farmhouse, set far back from the country lane. He could hear soft, low-pitched whining. Shadow, where you at, boy? He exclaimed. After going silent for several seconds, an unsettling sobbing noise emanated from the tree line. I told you to leave that damn cat alone. The man searched the tree line as he made his way down the path towards the farmhouse. A cell phone lay at the edge of the path. As he knelt down to inspect it, he noticed it was sat in a pool of blood. The screen had been cracked. He thought he heard something whimpering, "Help me," before the sobbing continued. "The hell is that?" he exclaimed again. He dropped the phone and frantically tried to wipe the blood off it. A slight movement in the ditch caught his attention. A small pale girl reached her hand towards him and shrieked. The man stumbled as he stared back at the girl, unable to take his eyes off her. She was covered in blood, and her matted hair covered most of her face. She was shaking violently as she stared back at the man, the whites of her eyes piercing through her messy hair. With her breath visible in the cold morning air, she let out another wailing shriek. And then it says, several hours earlier, a porch light flickers on illuminating the driveway. There should be a comma here. There should be a comma here. No, the porch light flickers on, comma, illuminating the driveway as the car pulls up alongside the farmhouse. A young woman, Carmen, steps out of the vehicle into the cool summer night. Crickets chirp from the forest that surrounds the farmhouse. The wooden steps creak as she made her way to the door. She paused and looked through the nearby window. The house was in darkness. Carmen pressed the doorbell as she continued to look through the window. She flinched at how loud the ring was. She pulled out her cell phone and scrolled to contact Amy. Carmen paced beside the door as she made the call. It rang several times before Carmen realized she could hear a phone vibrating. She peered back through the window and saw Amy's phone lighting up a section of the living room. Carmen let out a sigh, muttering under her breath, "What's going on, Ames?" She knocked on the door. "Amy, better be a good reason you're ghosting me," she exclaimed. No reply came, and Carmen decided to let herself in. Moonlight poured into the kitchen window, flickering through the swaying trees. "Ames, where are you at?" A breeze sent a chill over Carmen, and she rubbed her arms. "Alexa, lights on." Slowly, the large open plain room was lit up, except for the kitchen area that remained illuminated by the moonlight. Carmen walked over to the phone and picked it up. Wiping the dust from the screen, she noticed a lot of messages and missed calls, all from the same number. A preview of the message caught Carmen's attention. It read, "The Momo Challenge." The floorboards above her head creaked as something moved above her. Turning her gaze upwards, she noticed a light come on above the stairwell. "Just so you know, Ames, if you jump out at me, I'm not going to be sorry when I hit you." Carmen rolled her eyes as she made her way towards the stairs. As she reached the bottom of the stairs, she paused. Behind her, a shadowy reflection moved across the widescreen TV. A tall, thin figure walked past the kitchen window. It walked up to the edge of the shadowy kitchen and stared right at Carmen. It remained motionless. Even with its back hunched, it loomed over the girl. Long dark hair flowed down the figure's pale body. 2 large eyes peered out of the darkness, unblinking and focused. Carmen turned her head. I have like goosebumps reading this. Carmen turned her head sharply at the noise from the kitchen, but nothing appeared to be moving. The soft moonlight flickered across the top of the dining table. As she turned back to make her way up the stairs, another clattering sound echoed from the kitchen, and something ran out from under the table. Carmen grabbed the railing as it darted past her. "Jesus, Cat!" I can relate. Cat is always between my feet. She let out a soft laugh. "No need." A tree branch rattled against the window above the stairwell. As she went up the stairs, she paused on the landing and saw the cat stood at the top of the steps and the moonlight reflecting in its eyes. "You think you're funny, don't you?" She reached out her hand to pet the cat. It hissed at her and ran away. The tall, pale figure watched from the dark corner of the landing as Carmen looked around. The figure tilted its head to a neck-breaking degree as Carmen looked right through it.
Ew.
No, I don't think Carmen can see it.
Okay.
Because I would be pissing myself. Once she was upstairs, the lights below suddenly went off.
Yeah, I definitely would have gone upstairs if I could see it.
Yeah, exactly. Carmen ignored it and walked along the corridor towards Amy's room. Finding the door slightly open, she gently knocked on the door with the back of her hand, looked through the gap in the room, but was in total darkness. Amy? Behind her, the long, dark hair of the pale figure dangled from the ceiling above Carmen. The pale figure opened its wide mouth, and a snake-like tongue emerged, slithering towards Carmen. As she slowly entered the room, the door was ripped out from her grasp, and she was pulled into the darkness. The door slammed behind her. I have goosebumps. I hate scary stuff. The sound of the metal grinding reverberated through the room as the deadbolt clicked into place. "What the hell, Amy?" Carmen put the lights on and turned to face her friend. Carmen? So Amy was the one that pulled her into the room. Carmen's annoyed appearance quickly turned to one of concern. "Damn, what is going on with you?" Amy was shaking, with dark circles around her tearful eyes. As she looked over, her friend Carmen grabbed her arm. "Are you cutting again? Seriously?" Amy pulled her arm away and clasped the wound. "You shouldn't have come. Why? Why are you here?" Amy walked towards the window, muttering incoherently and frantically searching for something outside. "You sent me a message to come over, said something was wrong." Carmen watched as Amy froze. "And now that I'm here, I would say that is an understatement." Amy held her head in her hand and began to shake her head. No, I didn't. I refused." As Carmen looked around the room, she realized the extent of the mess. It was in a disheveled mess. It looked like someone had ransacked the place searching for something. Carmen put her hand on Amy's trembling shoulder. "Amy, you need to tell me what is going on right now." Amy stayed quiet for several seconds, searching for a response. "Did you see her?" With a puzzled look on her face, Carmen shook her head. "Who?" Amy pulled away from her friend and began to search her desk. "My phone. I need it. Where is it?" Carmen took the phone out of her pocket and handed it to Amy. "You left it downstairs." As Amy searched for something on her phone, Carmen noticed loose pages scattered across the dresser table. A drawing of a faceless woman caught Carmen's attention. As she picked it up, it revealed a notebook underneath. An oval face with 2 large eyes is drawn over the cover. with the name Momo literally carved into the cover hundreds of times. Carmen looked over at Amy as she paced about, fixated on her phone. On the first page, the unknown number was written in elegant, stylistic font with the title, The Momo Challenge. Before Carmen could say anything, Amy pulled at her shoulder. Here, look. She held the phone out to show Carmen the security camera feed, scrolling through multiple feeds. What am I meant to see here? Amy completely ignored the question. Carmen looked at the papers scattered on the desk and then at her friend. Focused on the phone, Amy is unaware at her friend's worried gaze. Once Amy got to the camera feed outside her bedroom, she gasped and began to shake. The tall, pale figure was right outside the door, with her face pressed up against the door. She's here.
So it was a live camera feed.
Yeah. Carmen takes the phone and looked at the same feed. There was nothing there. The hallway was empty. Amy's eyes opened wide as she looked at the screen. The pale figure rolled its head back to look directly at the camera. She smiled widely and her jaw swung open. Its mouth opened to a jaw-breaking degree and its snake-like tongue slithered down to the closed door. Amy spun to face the door, watching the tongue slither up the door, and she began to cry and shake violently. Her legs went numb and she collapsed to her knees. Carmen held her friend. Desperately, she tried to calm her down. The tongue slithered up to the deadbolt and hesitated. Then it licked the light switch off. Jamie was sobbing uncontrollably. Just a bad bulb. I'm not going to let anything happen to you, I promise. Carmen tried to reassure her friend. The sound of the deadbolt sliding open made both girls freeze. The room was silent as both girls watched the door slowly creep open.
I'm like dead focused on you
I
right
know.
now.
Nothing was there. Carmen stood up to go and turn the lights back on. Amy's phone started to ring, making Carmen jump. She recognized the number, the one from the book. The same... Oh, she's upstairs.
Yeah, right? Oh, God.
The same one Amy had multiple unread messages from. Without hesitation, she answered the call. What do you want? Carmen blasted angrily. All she could hear on the other end was raspy breathing. Behind the girls, pale bony fingers curled out of the large dresser table mirror. They held onto the frame. The pale face appeared with dark circles where the eyes should be. The figure pulled itself through the mirror, its limbs contorted to impossible angles. It towered over Amy and stared her down. Amy flicked the light switch on and looked out the hallway. Nothing was there. Who else is? Carmen turned back towards her friend. She dropped her phone to the ground and the screen cracked. Her gaze focused on the tall figure looming over her friend, its pale skin glistening in the moonlight.
Okay.
The flowing dark hair reached the ground and pooled around Amy. It raised its freakishly long arms, and Amy stood up, completely focused on Carmen. Amy, you need to come over. Here. The fear was evident in her voice. The figure lifted its head to face Carmen. Its round black eyes shimmered in the light. I'm so sorry, Carmen. I have no choice. Amy's eyes turned back as she moved swiftly towards Carmen. As Amy lunged at Carmen, the finger's thin lips, mouth turned into a smile. The next morning, the man slid into the... This goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
The man slid into the ditch beside the injured girl. She tried to say something as he helped her sit up. Her body was covered in horrific injuries. The man wrapped his jacket around her. His dog hid in the tree line and barked hysterically. The girl began to cry uncontrollably as she looked back up at the path. Stood on the path, Amy and the pale figure stared down at her. Her friend was almost unrecognizable. Her dark eyes stood out against her pale skin. Her blood-soaked hair dripped over her face. Amy held the broken phone in her hand. The Momo challenge text was obscured as blood ran over the screen. Perfectly still, they both smiled down at Carmen.
So they're down the...
They're watching this happen, yeah.
But he can't see them?
I don't think so. It doesn't appear like you can see Momo until I guess you're about to like complete
Die.
the challenge, like get kill.
So the challenge in itself is to get somebody else to kill.
Well, it could be. There's different. It seems like there's different levels. So that was the whole creepypasta, the whole story.
Okay.
So next is
and obviously this is a fake story, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just figured.
What is Momo / the Momo Challenge? The Momo Challenge is a creepy, somewhat dangerous internet challenge that targeted young children and teenagers on various social media platforms. The phenomenon gained the attention of the public and parents alike in the later half of 2018. The trend was based on a fictional character called Momo, which was essentially a character profile on WhatsApp. The challenge encouraged children and adolescents to text Momo's number on WhatsApp, who then sends them instructions to complete a whole range of bizarre and at times very dangerous tasks. The tasks range from watching a scary movie and working up to that much more drastic scale, some tasks being as dire as committing self-harm or taking one's own life.
Oh my God.
The various tasks that Momo was asking young people to partake in are very dangerous and at times alarming. For example, in the messages, Momo allegedly demanded the recipients to self-harm. Whilst there have been no official reports of any physical harm resulting from the Momo Challenge, there have been reports that people playing the game have committed suicide. One off-cited report suggests that a 12-year-old from Buenos Aires took her own life after playing the game. However, the report is unconfirmed.
I feel like this gives me like Slenderman vibes.
It's creepypasta.
Yeah.
In retrospect, the Momo Challenge phenomenon is widely regarded as a hoax and has since died down. However, this was after rather serious reports of attempts of self-harm, as well as reports of trolls editing YouTube videos aimed at kids, such as Peppa Pig, that began to include...
That's right, it was in the Peppa Pig things.
That began to include images of Momo. This led to authorities having to issue warnings about the Momo Challenge and highlight the importance of internet safety, as well as the need to monitor what young people are seeing and partaking online. The actual image of the infamous Momo character is of a young woman with huge bug eyes and matted dark hair. The image is completely unrelated to the Momo Challenge and is in fact an image of a sculpture made by Kazuki Asawa as part of a set made for a Chinese company that works on horror film props.
That was the big mouth, right? And it had like stitches and then the really big eyes.
Yeah. So that is Momo.
So wait, that photo is completely unrelated to the Momo Challenge. It was just
that Momo. Yeah, that image is the image of the sculpture that was made.
Okay.
That's not Momo. That's just what someone found online that is a creepy image.
That looks like it could be similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that image. That's immediately what I think of.
Yeah.
So.
And when I was when I was trying to find something like spooky to do, it was like one of the things I was like, oh my God, like literally like brought it back to the forefront. I was like, I remember this. I remember it being a big thing in 2018. And it was popping up. People were splicing
because it was like, getting
videos.
Put in between like videos and stuff. So kids would see this image and it would freak them out. It freaked me out.
It freaked me out. I have goosebumps and I just read it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
well, I was like, I when I was listening to your story at first, like I heard you like I was like listening and I'm like, hearing the man and the dog, and then all of a sudden you start talking about Amy and Chloe. You said her name was
Carmen.
But I'm like, where did they come from? And then tied it back in the end. Yeah. But I was like very confused at first. But that's like the creepiest story ever. So like the official challenge then.
You would send a message to the number on WhatsApp, and
they would
respond
you to do
with
things,
the challenges. Yeah.
Which I guess in this story's case, the challenge was to kill her best friend.
Yep.
But then, like, what happens if you don't complete the challenge?
Well, it sounded like she was trying to complete the challenge if her and Momo were at the edge of the path.
But I'm saying, like, what happens if you don't complete it?
I
like,
don't know.
do you die maybe?
Maybe she eats you.
Maybe, like, whatever, like, if let's just say your challenge is to cut yourself or whatever, then she's going to cut you. The challenge is to kill somebody else, then she'll kill you.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have enough courage to do it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hated that. I hated reading that because I don't do scary things.
No, it gives me like like the definitely Slender Man vibes because, like I said, there was the one lawsuit where the two girls killed their friend because Slender Man said to do it.
And like this one, it sounds like someone did take their life, but of course it's unconfirmed. But
so, I mean, this all started, like you said, through WhatsApp. So somebody would text a random WhatsApp number and then this challenge would come through. So it was a real thing. Like the challenges in itself, people were getting challenged to do stuff. I mean, obviously, if somebody's challenging them to take their life and they do it.
Well, it's like, it might be like a chicken or the egg thing. Like, what came first, the creepypasta or the challenge? I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with it. But even still, there was a Momo challenge that people were texting a random
Apparently,
number.
If it's reported that someone killed themselves, apparently, but.
That one's a good one for Halloween season.
Yeah.
I got to figure out. I like the creepy.
I might need an upbeat one for next time because it was spooky.
I want to do I need to do a creepy pasta. Like I need to look at it. I've never seen it before. I want to dig into it, see if I can find some good stories and stuff like that. So
there is some good ones out there. I read a couple before, and I'm drawing a blank, but I have to look for them again. Send them to you.
Sounds good.
But yeah, that was good.
Yay!
It was creepy. I have goosebumps. I hate it.
I know. Our guest appearance from the cat today.
I know.
Meow.
Is you hungry?
No, she eats all the time. When I'm down here or if I'm walking down the basement steps, she freaks out because she thinks she's going to get fed.
Pay attention to me. So yeah, that was good. We had good ones.
Yeah, I liked yours. I've never heard the whole story though, so I like the story part of it.
To be honest, I never did either. I just knew about it.
I didn't even really know that much about it. I just knew there was a picture.
I knew it was a thing, but I didn't look anything into it. So this was actually interesting. I learned about it today myself.
Yeah, Willa's very intrigued.
She is.
I don't know how much she's in. She's probably like all over this video. Like you can see.
You can't see her.
She meowed in the microphone at a couple points. We might be able to steal that audio for later.
You can't see her there, but you can see her when she's sitting on that arm. She
went under here at one point. She went under the boom mic, bopped it, hit me in the face because the microphone just went, and I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah.
Aw.
I mean a brat.
All right. Well, we did it. Oh, she's gone.
Ran away. I wonder how much of the meowing you can actually hear.
You can hear it. I usually keep it in.
It's funny, I think.
Yeah.
Right, Willow? We're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening. I guess
Willow thanks you too.
The cat is telling us we need to go.
Apparently it's feeding time.
Make sure you subscribe to all our things, social media.
Willow's telling you to do so.
Yeah, Willow says subscribe to our Patreon.
And if you're watching the YouTube videos and stuff, like I said, we're still new in the video world of this. Please give us constructive criticism. If you think that there's something that would look better or if we did something better with it, let us know. I am not against getting positive or negative, not negative feedback, but
don't open
constructive criticism.
Don't open yourself up to this comments.
Yeah, God. But yeah, I think this was a good episode.
Me too.
And
another one in the books.
I think we should do costumes next time. Costumes for like close to Halloween.
Okay.
So
I still need to buy a costume.
We should do votes. Like on our Instagram, we should do a vote. Like, do you want to see Dan wearing this or this? Do you want to see Allison wearing this or this? So we'll do that.
Okay.
Look for those and then comment in the polls and we'll dress however you want us to dress.
I think
that sounds dangerous. Wait, no. No.
It's not that type of podcast, Allison.
Two options.
It's not that type of podcast.
That's on my OnlyFans.
Subscribe.
I don't have it yet, so yet.
Okay. Goodbye.
Right. Bye. Thank you for listening to Conspiracy Happy Hour. Be sure to listen, follow, and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a spooky story, conspiracy, or weird encounter that you would like to hear read in a future episode? Email your story to conspiracyhappyhour@gmail.com and follow the show on Instagram and Facebook at Conspiracy Happy Hour. This podcast is produced and edited by Geckos Media and is part of the Geckos Media Network. Interested in starting your own podcast and not quite sure where to begin? Visit Geckos Media and sign up for a free one-on-one consultation today. Until next time, bye!